What are the pros and the cons of living in Forney, Texas? That's one of the most common questions that I get from clients that are looking to move into the area. So if you're thinking about moving to Forney or simply want to learn more about the city, this is a video for you. And you're going to want to stay to the end because some of these cons will not only surprise you, but can actually cost you money. Now, if we're just meeting, my name is Jaime Resendez. Welcome to the DFW Homeowner YouTube channel, where you'll find real estate information that no one else is sharing with you. All right, so let's dig into it. Forney, Texas is located on the east side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Now with Forney, we automatically apply the hour rule, meaning that anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex can take an hour to get to, given that so much of that commute is dependent on the traffic. So if you're trying to get to downtown Fort Worth, as an example, give yourself about an hour and 15. Now, if you're trying to get to downtown Dallas, that could be a 30-minute commute, 45-minute commute, up to an hour commute. A lot of it depends on what I-30 is doing. Now, if you're trying to catch a flight at the international airport, give yourself an hour. Now, one of the biggest reasons that so many of our clients select Forney to be on their short list of cities to consider is because of the cost of living. Real estate prices are extremely reasonable in Forney, and not only that, you also have a lot of opportunity with new construction. So you can find yourself buying a brand new house, a much larger house in Forney than you would going a little bit closer into Dallas. Now that makes sense, right? The closer that you get to a major metropolitan area, it's going to cost more. But in many cases, what you're going to find in those cities that are a little bit closer to Dallas is not a lot of new construction inventory. And something else that you're probably not going to find is a lower property tax rate, which is something that enhances Forney's cost of living for you, which essentially means you're going to have lower real estate prices and a lower property tax rate, thus lower property taxes. Now, don't mishear me, property taxes just in general in Texas are among the highest in the country. So that's why I really make a point to highlight cities like Forney that have a lower property tax rate to make those taxes a bit more manageable. The second pro to Forney is the small town feel. Forney is one of those stereotypical Texas towns that values community, that values the education system, that values the local shopping that happens, essentially the local restaurants, and absolutely values Friday night lights. Even though Forney is rapidly growing, you're still going to be operating at a different pace. So far, it still has maintained that small town feel, even though it almost has 30,000 residents and has grown 356% in 20 years. Now, something else that you're going to really appreciate about Forney is the parks and recreation scene. Most likely, you're going to be within walking distance to a park or to a hiking trail, or if you're willing to go up north just a little bit, you can enjoy the lake life. In other words, in Forney, you're going to have the opportunity to enjoy the outdoors. And by the way, if you're finding value in this video, let me know that you're here by commenting Forney down in the comment section, because now we need to talk about some of the downsides. What are the cons of living in Forney? The very first con is one that we actually already alluded to at the beginning of the video, and that's the location. We're talking about being on the easternmost side of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So if you're trying to get to the western side of the Metroplex for whatever reason, whether that's work, whether that's recreation, whether that's whatever, it's going to require a commute. Thus, you're at the mercy of a ton of traffic. And given that we're talking about Forney, or heck, the entire Metroplex to begin with, public transportation is not going to be readily available for you. In other words, you're going to need a reliable vehicle to get around. So while I personally don't have an issue with the location, because for the most part, I'm going to be driving across DFW anyway, and I work from home, it's not going to be a big deal for me, but it is for a lot of individuals. So if you plan to commute into town, make sure that you're comfortable with being in the vehicle, because some days it could be a 20-minute commute, some days it could be an hour and a half. Now, the second downside to living in Forney is the entertainment scene. Given that it's a smaller town, don't count on a ton of fancy restaurants or a lot of shopping opportunities, or certainly any nightlife. Now, of course, I have to be fair. Again, Forney is a small town. It's transitioning to be a huge town at the rate that it's growing, but it's not there yet. So if you're looking for the latest dining concepts or entertainment options, Forney might not be it. Now, the third con to living in Forney, at least right now, is all of the construction. While it's no secret that I personally love new construction because all of the personal properties that I purchase end up being new. Given that Forney is just making that transition from a small town to a larger suburb, you are gonna have construction every which way because city planning calls for that. You have to improve your infrastructure, which means larger roads, which means new schools, which means new amenities. There's a lot of building that happens. So don't be surprised when you see cement truck after cement truck after cement truck. So for a while, it's gonna feel like the cement truck is actually the most popular vehicle in Forney. Now, overall, the reason that so many of our clients choose Forney over all the other cities is because of the lower cost of living, that small town feel, and the parks and recreation scene. So that's why we at the DFW Homeowner YouTube channel give Forney a 4 out of 5. So if Forney has piqued your interest and you want to learn more about the city all the way back to when it was founded, check out this video right here. Or if you're ready to check out some Forney real estate, check out our list of preferred homes, linked down in the description.